waiting on Corey to start the video. Maybe she was waiting on me to start it. We filmed an update not that long ago.
It's been a couple weeks ago, honestly.
Well, I guess in the scheme of things, it feels like it's not been that long ago. But it's been a couple weeks ago, and we were going to post it. We didn't get around to it, and we decided to ditch that update and make one that is, what would you say, more updated. There's been things happen since that video, and we thought that we would make the new video to include them, because we'd be losing them if we were to go with that other older video. So here we go with the updated update that you never saw to begin with, but here we go. Here we go.
What do we have on the agenda to share?
Well, we have some different things. One thing I want to do is share about Silas and several different...
That was our main reason, not to interrupt you, but that was our main reason for remaking the video is now there's just been more news to share. And there's a lot of people who have been asking about baby Silas on the channel, but if you're watching this video and you don't know what we're talking about, there's a little baby in our community, and the baby is... It's okay, Mama. Come on in, Mama. It's okay.
It's not a big deal. Mama, come on right on. You're not going to be in. It's okay. Come right in right here. It's not a big deal. This is an update. This ain't no special video. We're just talking.
Mama just walked up from Granny's house. Yeah, don't go all the way around just for us.
Looks good. The update is, looks like Mom has stuff, food. So there's that.
Looks like Granny made some maybe banana pudding or something.
Looks good.
Which is tasty. Anyways, baby Silas is a baby in our community. He's younger than Woody and I. He's maybe about 8 months old. And
just about 8 months old.
Now, remind me, Katie, you better share this, because you know he was born early.
He was born very, very early, and because of that, he's had really bad lung problems and airway issues, and he's never went home. He's never left the hospital. He was in one hospital, and then he transferred into another hospital in Tennessee, in Nashville, and he has been essentially fighting for his life for the last 8 months, and he's made it further, I think, than what the doctors had given the family an idea of, because he's just strong and he's a fighter. And so his parents made a Facebook page to get the word out there for people to spread
prayer.
Spread prayer and help and support. And I have, if you feel so led to donate to this young family, they have one other child who's a little bit older, so there's an age gap there. And it's been really hard on him because, you know, his mama has been gone a lot. So if you feel so led to donate financially to them, or you want to send them a card, your church does, and you want to tell them that you're praying for them, message us, send us an email. Our email's in the description box below, and I can provide you with an address to do that.
And thank you. Some of you have already done that, and we thank you so much, because it's...
Yes, and Adam is Silas's father's name. Adam thanks you too. He just sent me a message the other day and thanked us for sending some of the things that you guys have, funds that you guys have sent our way to him. He said that they really appreciate it, and to keep praying. I actually have a Facebook thing that I thought that I would read to you. I thought that it was more encompassing than what I could remember from it. I was afraid that I would forget something, so I thought that I'd read it to you. So he's had multiple surgeries since he's been born, and he was on a little baby ventilator, like a little breathing machine, for a really long time, and they got him off that, and they did a procedure so that he could have a trach and he could breathe through that and get out from under some of the equipment tied to his face. And so I was just looking here at this update. So he's had more than one surgery since the last time we did an update, but he just recently had an emergency surgery they decided to do. At the time of filming this video, today is Sunday. They were supposed to send him home this coming Tuesday, but now they cannot send him home because they found a flap. So basically his esophagus never went down and connected where it was supposed to. It kind of just ended in a pooch, and that's a problem. So he has to have a feeding tube, and then his lungs, his airway has never been stable. And so he had a problem with a blood vessel coming in and pushing on his airway, and they had to fix that. And so before they sent him home, I'm really thankful that they found this strange, like this flap of skin, this flap like in his esophagus that was giving them a hard time, like they couldn't place the trach. They change it, there's different sizes and lengths, and just, I don't understand it all, but they needed to change it, and they run up against the reality of what's going on, this isn't working, and then they found that like fold, that flap of skin. So they had to pretty much do an emergency to try to fix that, an emergency surgery, I should say, to try to fix that. So that happened like yesterday. So, but I was going to read this. This is what his dad said, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I'll probably cry, because that's just what I do. But So his dad is just writing this Facebook post, giving us an update, and he said, but he says, but God has saved him every time, and God has been with us every step of the way. He's never been early and never been late, but right on time. And then starting this next paragraph is what I wanted to read. But I was sitting here with Silas. He's talking about in the hospital. I looked out his hospital room door, and seen the code cart. A code cart is a portable wheeled cabinet that contains all the necessary equipment and medications used during critical care situations. They don't let it get too far away from baby Silas, but God began to speak to me and show me that we have a code cart too, and it's the Holy Bible, and that most of the time we neglect to use it to help people come to know Jesus, myself included. And he's just said some different stuff there, and at the end of his post here, he said, baby Silas has acquired quite a following, and rightly so. He's a testimony of the power of God in prayer. Has it been easy? No. Has it been fair? No. But there's one thing about it. God has been good all the way. Take time and examine yourself and make sure you are truly born again. Think of the time you asked God to save you and repented and turned from that life. And if you can't think of a time you did that, then today is your day. The Bible says today is the day of salvation. And then at the end he says, I'm done preaching. I'm not a perfect man. I make mistakes daily, but I am a saved man and I serve a perfect God. Thanks for your prayers. And they always do the hashtag Silas Strong. And he says God is good, and he has a little picture of Silas there. So I just, two things. I want you to pray for Silas, and I want you to pray for his family, because they really need it. And I can't imagine being in that place, with a sick baby. But I also share that because Adam is exactly right when he said that, Silas is a testament of God's power, because he really, in all earthly understanding, shouldn't even be here, shouldn't be alive, but here he is. And so that is a testimony of what God can do, the power of prayer, and God's immense and all-encompassing and really just unfathomable to us, his love. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I'm just all choked up. I'm just trying to get it out, but it is a testament of God's immense and amazing love for all of us, and something that we shouldn't forget, something that we have to remember. Out of that immense love, he sent the only son he had, and he was crucified just in the worst of worst, for us to be here and have access to everlasting life. And if something horrible and terrible were to go wrong with Silas and he were to go to be with God, then praise God that we know where he's at, and that we would see him again. His parents would be with him again. And I just think it's such an amazing story of what God is doing with Silas, and that his family, they have been so prayerful, they have been so faithful, and they've been so humble in sharing and letting us all witness God's power through this journey that they have with Silas. And that's amazing, and I thank them for that, for
Absolutely.
letting us be a part of that. And we need to continue to pray for them. And again, don't forget, if you feel like being supporting them in any possible way, being a part of it, please send us an email, and we'll let you know how you can do that. But the next stages for him is just, what's next is to heal from this surgery. It sounds like he's doing pretty good, get back hopefully into a stable condition, and then maybe he could come home. But he's going to come home with a lot of care. He's going to need a lot of help. He's going to need a lot of care. They're going to have to do a lot of retrofitting to their home, and that costs money, as we know. So
yeah, it absolutely
that's the update on Silas that I have right now.
Thank you for sharing that, buddy.
I feel like I've talked all over myself, stumbling all over. You ever had those days where you're trying to get something out and you just can't hardly?
Every day.
Yeah,
Every day. Thank you for sharing that. Kate, I don't have Facebook, but if you look on Facebook, you'll actually see 2 accounts of mine floating around out there. But I got locked out a long time ago and then gave up, so I don't necessarily have it, so thank you. But Katie tells me, so thank you for...
And I will say one more thing. I don't ever hardly get on Facebook but to look for, stuff I need. Like, if there's somebody I'm trying to contact, or if it's, a Facebook group page where there's this fresh milled flour group page that I like to look at to try to learn stuff. Because I feel like if you've sent me a friend request and you're like, why would Katie not accept my friend request?
Right,
Katie don't even look at that stuff.
Right.
Katie don't look at the comments. Katie don't hardly post nothing. I don't ask people to be friends. I'm not looking at any of that ever. I'm just only on there to look for Silas, to look for the flour page where I can go ask, why did this bread I make not work? That kind of thing. I don't want nobody's feelings to be hurt if people ask me to be friends on Facebook, because I just ain't on there really. You know what I mean?
That's okay. What you were saying was jogging my memory for some stuff. definitely keep praying for him. But our let girl in our community, the young girl who was just barely younger than us, right at our age, McKenna, we mentioned her on the channel. She, just long story short, for anyone who doesn't know, because we have got a lot of new subscribers recently, which we thank you for that. She had a brain aneurysm, and it was kind of another thing like that. I mean, wow, you know, McKenna's miracle is what we call it here where we live, because it's kind of the same thing. Like, she shouldn't have been alive by medical standards, or you know what I'm trying to say. Keep praying for her. Pray for her family. It's, you know, she is a lot better than she was, but she's not what she was. Does that make sense? And please pray for her and her family, because she, unfortunately, with the thing that happened to her, she has like no short-term memory. So it's like every day, it's like multiple times a day, why am I like this? What happened? And that, as you can imagine, would just be unimaginably traumatic for her, trauma, you know, inducing for her family. So please pray for them. Another thing that another thing, I'm glad I didn't forget. We will, I'll try to I don't know how we'll share it in a post, or maybe we'll just link the video, okay, in the description below. There's, of course, still people from Hurricane Helene who need help here in Western North Carolina, and our awesome friend Wayne over at Deep River Farm. If you don't know who he is, go subscribe to him. He's great. We'll put his channel in the description. Also, Bud with Appalachian Navy, we'll put his channel in the description. They have been some of many wonderful, wonderful God-sent people helping during this, you know, the terrible aftermath of Helene. But people still need help. So just be aware of that. Be in prayer, and we're going to put the links in the description there.
And they're going to give you opportunities to help, you know, updated information on what you can still do to support those people. It's just, it's easy, you know, to forget about something like that and just move forward. And you know, everybody has their own life and their own tragedies and their own problems and their own responsibility. But, you know, I know our neighbors are still hurting.
Help, for anything. And then also, I shared this at church today, but I want to share this again. There was a young gal in Sunday school class. So me and Katie are Sunday school teachers, and we hadn't even been Sunday school teachers for a year yet, have we?
Close, but not quite.
Close, maybe. And
one of us teaches usually, and the other one wrangles the babies.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes I can get Woody to go to the nursery. Most of the time,
occasionally we can both teach and kind of just wrangle.
But we just kind of tag team, and it works pretty good. And we got a wonderful group of kids. But we have some young kids, and this girl, you know, this young gal, she's maybe what, 13, 14, 12 maybe. 12. And today's lesson that we were talking about Paul in Athens in the book of Acts, and talking to the people, and there was a lot of people who were interested in Jesus. Wow, tell me more. And then there was some people who were like, this is weird, just forget it, I'm gonna go do something else. You know, that's paraphrased, obviously. Anyways, the lesson for them was the point of, hey, we need to share Jesus with others. It's not just about us getting saved, it's we want to share Christ with other people, right?
That's right.
And I loved what she said. You know, she's soft-spoken, she don't talk much, and she said, and she's in school, in middle school, and she spoke up and she said that recently in her classroom there was a young boy, and I don't remember if she said he was just basically like saying, oh, I think
she said he had made a comment that wasn't real nice
about Jesus. She didn't say what it was, and she said there was a Bible in the classroom, which immediately I was like, praise God that there's just a Bible in their classroom. Just that but she said, you know, and the other students were, you know, aware of this too, but she said she went and got the Bible off the shelf and just put it on his desk and didn't say a word to him, and then that facilitated this whole conversation of the other kids like trying to point out Bible verses to him. And then she said she heard him sometime later
after the fact,
like asking about Jesus. And I thought, oh my gosh, you know, this is amazing. She's a wonderful gal. Her daddy's a deacon. Wonderful.
Oh, she's precious.
But that just really got to me. I was like, that's just wonderful. And that's what can happen when you raise your kids with Jesus and you take your kids to church. It's so vitally important. And then too, that she would have the courage, because that's hard. It's so hard to have the courage as an adult, but as a kid, especially as like a middle school or a high school.
Oh yeah, middle school's hard. Middle school's a lot harder than high school in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I think so, especially these days. So that was just such a blessing, and you know, it's just so important to remember that we teach our kids about Jesus, but then important for all of us too as adults that we look for every opportunity to share Jesus, you know, and that's one of our big things here on the channel.
That's right.
We're just passionate about testifying for God and sharing.
God can be part of it, yeah.
And so wanted to share that.
And I will say, to go along with that, the sermon today at church was really, really great. It was fantastic, and you know,
Wonderful.
that's just something that I always want to continue to do on this channel, is continue to talk about God and spread the gospel and spread the good news. And hey, if you know who he is, then praise God, we're just fellowshipping across the screen. And if you don't know who he is, let me tell you, there's a man named Jesus who came to this earth to die on a cross so that you might not only have eternal life with him forever and avoid going to hell, which is the penance that we all deserve, but so that you could have life more abundantly while
Right
you
now.
are here,
Yeah.
right now, and living under his will and in his will and in his provision, you know. And the preacher really put it well, and I've heard this before. I've heard it put like this before: if you pull away from God, he will pull away from you, and he will kind of just pull himself out of your life, because God doesn't force himself on anybody, because that's not love. That's not true, genuine love. And I know a lot of the times people say, well, if God's all omnipotent and all powerful and he knows everything, and he knew when he made Lucifer, before he was Satan, when he was still Lucifer, when he made him, if he knew that he was going to dissent, angels they don't have the same free will we have, but they have something to have, you know, for Satan to have decided to
Do his own thing
and take a third of the stars, i.e. a third of the angels of heaven with him, then we know that, you know, he made that decision. And so sometimes people say, well, then if God knew how it was all going to go, why did he do it? Why didn't he stop Satan? Well, or Lucifer, when he was Lucifer. Well, I don't know, but I know that God doesn't force anything on anybody, because if he did, then it would all just be a puppet show, right?
No.
And none of it would be free will, and none of it would be a game. I mean, none of it would be true. It would all just be
Right,
this
I know
game.
what
And
you're
God's
saying.
not a puppet master. He doesn't do that stuff.
No.
He wants you to come willingly, and he's made this beautiful life that we have for us because he loves us, and he wants us to come lovingly to him. So that would always be my thing there. If he forced everything, how,
Right.
you know, I can't force Corey to love me. She loves me, but I can't make her, or it wouldn't be love.
Right. And
It'd
exactly.
just be fake, and that's terrible, you know?
No, exactly. And I think what you were trying to say is God didn't make Satan. He made an angel.
Satan made himself when he
Satan.
made a bad decision.
Yeah, God
That's
made
right.
an angel that, and at least probably on some level of respect in the very beginning, did love him. But then the angel decided, you know, maybe I just go
Got
do my own
greedy,
thing.
wanting his own power. But you're
we know what
exactly right.
happened
Satan made
from there.
himself. God didn't make him do that. Obviously, he did it of his own volition.
Another thing is we've been listening to a really awesome pastor here. There's obviously lots of
for the
sermons.
update I wanted to.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
good.
Well, good. We're on the same
Yeah,
wavelength.
you're just going good.
But we're going to leave a link in the description. I'm sure a lot of you know him. There's a pastor named Doug Batchelor, and he is really good. A wealth of information, and really has a talent for preaching the word. And then just while we're talking about that, there's another man named David Guzik with the Enduring Word Ministry based out of California. That's wonderful. And then there's a guy named Luke, I can't think of his last name, who has a ministry to be like Christ. And he does a Bible overview of every chapter, and it's really good. So we're going to put all that in the description.
Doug Batchelor, there's something about him.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's very, very well spoken. He was
Very
actually
knowledgeable.
agnostic. He was actually an atheist.
He was, yeah.
He had a kind of a troubled beginning, but then he actually went and remotely lived in this cave for a little while. He was just so down and so destitute with the world, and so he just ended up living in this cave in the wilderness. And while he was there, he took a Bible, or somehow a Bible got there, and while he was there, he found the Lord. And he's got his channel, Doug Batchelor, but he also there's a channel called Amazing Facts. Some of you might know about that. That's a TV program that they have where he shares amazing facts, from around the world, and wraps God into it too.
So we'll share all that. Anything else on that before we sort of switch gears to some other updates? Is that okay?
I think that's pretty much what we wanted to mention. I'm really glad you mentioned Doug, because I don't know in the last update that we filmed if I'd mentioned him, but I really wanted to share that. For those of you, if you're busy doing something and you just listen to something, like I can't watch stuff during the day, I'm too busy, but if I was napping, I can listen.
Yeah, if you're washing dishes,
that's
or
something great to listen
clothes.
to. Absolutely. I think that's probably it on that front, if you want to keep switching gears to the next thing.
I was trying to think of any other updates. One update that we shared in the video that we didn't, air, and then I was hesitant to even mention it in this because I don't know when we'll do it, but me and Austin were talking about, tag teaming, helping each other make soap again. For him to help me make soap again. But I don't know when it'll be. We have all the soap stuff now at our house. We got it at Mom and Dad's basement where I used to make soap. And we got a shelf that was actually Miss Cindy's, and anyways, we got kind of everything down there, but it's been on my mind. Hey, I'd like to try and make it again, but it's just hadn't found the time yet. But no promises, but that's something that we're thinking about and that we're going to try to do. Another thing is we're going to be going to the beach soon, me and Austin, with his family. So, excuse me, I'm hoping to film. My plan is just to film a vlog about that and just film
a little bit here and there.
Yeah, just whatever, and we'll see if the video ends up short, if it ends up long. So I'm looking forward to that. There's a big hawk. That's the one that was making all that noise.
I was wondering.
Just wondering if we would
Must
see
be
it.
the one that just hangs around here. And then as far as other updates, I wanted to mention, because I almost forgot. Sorry. It's like I'm choking out here with the pollen. I wanted to mention Granny. She's doing good. Yeah. She, she's really strong and she's a trooper. And so I just honestly think that she doesn't feel good almost every day. I think some days are worse than others. She's still hanging in there, and we're just doing what we can to make her happy, to make her comfortable. She's still able to go, on her own. Today. She came to church this morning, so that's really good. And we're just celebrating every day that we have like that. Thankful for every day that we have like that. But I know she doesn't overall feel very great most days, so definitely keep her in your prayers. Yeah. The boys are doing good.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. The boys are good.
Ira's still struggling a little bit with his eczema because since he just, he's been weaned for less than a month, but he is still struggling with, I would just give him straight up cow's milk, and his eczema is just, it's bad. So definitely pray for him and his little skin, but we're working on it. We're going to get it under control. I'm going to get it pulled back from the flare.
Right. Even with Woody, he's been on goat milk since, the very beginning, because the cow's milk gave him a wicked diaper rash.
It did, yeah.
Katie's the one who figured that out. It's like, cool, just try a different formula, and then, rash goes away like that. It's pretty easy to figure out there. And then we've been sneaking it back, and everything's been fine. But then I did that, here and there, but then I did it the other day, and I was like, whoa, here comes the rash.
Yeah.
And I thought it might have been eggs, but again, I had given him eggs before, so we just kind of have to back off for a while. And, so we're kind of on the...
It's the same front. Whatever. The family's doing good. We're doing good. One other thing I wanted to mention is the nightmare that we had with the previous people wanting to do merch.
And
remember?
Can we just say, too, not to interrupt you, but, we're so sorry. We had several people, which, we know we've emailed one person and we've got a refund heading to you. But there was people, with Spring Tea, is that right?
Yep, that's it.
Who were just like, I never got a thing, you can't contact the company. And I'm like,
that made me so mad.
Oh my gosh, I'm like, we will refund your money.
And we never, we talked about wanting to do merch, and we talked about that we were going to, but we never announced it because what we did is, it ended up, we paired our shop with YouTube. So the Spring Tea, it comes onto the platform. The YouTube platform integrates. That's the word I'm looking for. And if you go at the top of, if you're looking at YouTube, across when you see playlists, blah blah blah, community, all those tabs, one of them will say shop. And if someone has a YouTube affiliate shop, a link to somewhere else where they sell merch or whatever, it'll be under there. Well, with Spring Tea, it wouldn't let me. I had to link it before I could actually make merch. Well, we never said anything. I was just thinking, well, maybe nobody will ever find it, because I ordered samples for us to make sure,
to see if we even
quality control.
Yeah.
And they never only one of them ever got here, and so then I eventually just took it down, and we just never said anything.
But in the meantime,
a few people saw it and
bought some stuff.
Yeah. So if you're one of those people and you still haven't got your,
just email us and we will refund your money.
We will, and
because we care about you, and if they can't get their customer service stuff together, we're gonna fix it. We will refund your money.
We will. So what we're gonna do now, we found somebody else to work through. Roots and Refuge is a YouTube channel here. A lot of you that watch us probably watch her, Jess with Roots and Refuge. Well, she mentioned in one of her videos her merch. She goes through a company called Fourth Wall, and I thought, you know what?
Yeah, she likes it. Well, then.
She likes it, so I bought one of her shirts just because I was like, okay, well, I really like her. I'll support her. This shirt's really cute, and it got here really quickly.
And it was really good quality.
Supposed to be 5 to 11 business days. It was great quality. So I went on to Fourth Wall. I'm designing some t-shirts. It's not linked with our YouTube yet. I will do that when I feel satisfied. I just ordered a sample, so when it gets here, I'm going to look at it. Oh, if I like it, okay, well then we're going to try again. We're going to give this merch a second go. And I'm thinking we'll just have t-shirts, might have a tumbler or a hat or a bag or just something, and we're just going to design it in Canva. I just have some little
we're just
stuff.
trying to
and
keep it
Canva.
simple.
Yeah,
I would
simple
love,
designs.
like, at some point, like how Mom, you know, she has the mugs made by a guy here locally. I love that. Like, I would love to do some kind of
Partner with a local artist.
yeah, or
kind,
even
yeah.
us doing something, but we're just not in the stage of life where we can
Oh,
do
no.
that.
Or
We're
busy.
just not, because then we would have to ship it. That's part of the thing. We would have to buy the quantity up front and ship it, and we're just like, no.
And that's like with Fourth Wall, the print on demand.
Yeah,
they handle that
so
stuff. So if we get that worked out,
We'll let you know.
we'll either make a post, we might make a whole nother video. I'm working on that, working on some designs. I love to just sit there on my computer and play with little
And then tell
stuff.
us also, though, tell us what kind of designs you would like to see.
Sure, and if it's like, oh yeah, I want a t-shirt, then what do you want? You know, tell me
Yeah.
something. Do you want a tree on there? Do you want it to be like
to say the Pressley Girls, or
yeah, what are you thinking? So we're
more
working.
butter, more better.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that. So we're
Just kidding.
working. That's something else, an update that we're working toward. My shop, y'all, I'm still moving pretty slow with it. I just a lot of the times don't hardly have the time to get down there and really work. It seems like I'm able to add like extra inventory or just any inventory at all. It seems like I can do that like once a month or like every month and a half. I just can't hardly get to work. I'm hoping that'll get a little bit better. I did recently buy some rocks on eBay that I'm really excited about. Some rough from Australia that I hadn't ever heard of. And it's sitting down there in the basement.
Have I
so
seen it?
I don't know. Yeah, you saw it. Remember that Jasper?
That was pretty.
So hopefully I'll be able to get around to cutting it. I was gonna make a video about it. Maybe I will
That'd be fun.
if I can get to where I can do something with it. I'm trying, but it's tricky. And I might have one other thing. I feel like I'm just chit-chatting away, and
That's okay.
of course I'll be like, "Shut up, Kitty! I'm gonna throw you in the yard."
No, that's definitely not what I'm thinking or saying.
I am hopefully maybe in a couple months might have some new updates for my truck, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm still debating on when and how to look at getting body work done. So update is the truck is still the same. The truck still runs and drives. I have a lot of fun with it. Try to drive it when I can, take the trash off, go to the post office, that kind of fun thing.
I thought of one more update. We have a friend, also named Katie, who took some pictures of us recently.
She's a photographer.
She is a photographer, a really
precious.
sweet gal. We went to school with her. And we wanted to update our bio picture and like the banner picture on the top of YouTube. We want to update the description. It's been the same for a couple years, and it's nice. Those pictures are also very lovely by another really lovely young gal in the community. She did my wedding photos. But we thought, we should kind of update some things, and because some of that's with the music, and of course we want to keep playing music, but it's just hard with the babies trying to find a time to practice and get music on the channel, and we do lots of other stuff, so we just wanted to kind of update some things. So be looking for that. We're really excited
updated
about
photos, kind of just a different. It's not like a different direction or anything than the music. Just more updated. Like, hey, I'm a few years older and I might look different. And,
just some new pictures, and we're still obviously gonna. And there'll be a time where we're able to do more music, but we're just doing what we can do right now. And we have been able to play a little bit more recently.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, we better get off here.
Yeah, we better. The Binks is good. Olive is good.
Yeah.
Binks is still being a vicious killer. Oh man, he is. He's really hard on the wildlife population here. We have a deer.
Binks, don't mess with
Binks, be nice. One of the other.
Messing with the outlet.
Maybe our last update. We said that was gonna be the last one. Our last update is the deer. I've been messing with our garden, and it's one of them. She has a fawn here real close because she's just been in the yard. I legit caught her in the driveway. Literally, look out.
She was under Dad's building.
She was in the shed, like in the shed to be, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
We saw her twice today on our bank.
And if you just talk to her like that, you come outside and you're like, "Dude, come on, man, what are you doing?" And she'll just look at you, and you're like, she don't even run, and that's what tells me she's got a fawn. Thought I heard a fawn bleat not that long ago, just right here in the woods. We're just looking on this other side of this bank here. She is probably the one that ate my flower.
But we're trying just not to mess with her, Maybe she'll take her phone and move on in a
I
couple
hope
days.
so. There's that. I guess we'll sign off here. I know there's always something I feel like I'm going to share, and then I'm always
I know, me too.
feeling like I forgot. But I really feel like that was
I think that was it.
probably everything. I just feel like the most important thing is to keep praying for Silas.
Yes, just keep praying.
Pray for Granny, pray for one another.
Pray for
I want to
McKenna,
say, McKenna, one more time that I know that people are going to be asking for prayer requests, and so when I pray, I always say, God, I know there'll be things that I don't see,
but you see them.
But you see them, and I've told these people that I'm going to pray for them, and so if I don't see the request, whatever it is, whoever's made it, I'm praying for this person, whatever their need may be. You know them, and you know their need, and you're the one that can meet it. So please pray.
Yeah.
You know, please help this person.
Yeah.
And I always say
Even
that.
if we don't, and then we say it's spoken and unspoken, you know, someone who might have been watching who has a prayer request but didn't type it,
Our YouTube family, or people who contact me via social media, emails, letters, texts. I go down the whole line.
And then also keep praying for Pastor Lon, our friend Pastor Lon and his family. Just keep praying for them. All right, we have to get off of here.
We do.
Go give the boys baths, and I guess me and Austin got to go home. And
yep.
So anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you so much for just spending time with us. And it's nice to just do these updates. I just feel like we all get to sit down and catch up, and that's nice. And
and sometimes there's just little items of business that don't belong in other videos. So we just put them all in here.
Yeah, and that's nice to do. And thank you to all the new subscribers. We got a lot of new subscribers recently. That's so exciting. We are
God bless you.
God bless you.
Here.
We're inching ever closer to 100,000 subs, which is just, it's so cool to us, but also just funny. I just was like, why would 100,000 people want to watch us? Is that rain?
It is.
Okay, I guess this is a good time to go. God bless you. God keep you. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye. You have to get up and turn the camera off. I'm not going to get up.
All right.
I'm lazy. Hey, Binky. What are you doing?